What's going on, you guys? It's Winston Gay here, and today I want to talk about my journey, how I ended up becoming a business owner, how right now I'm a videographer, graphic designer, animator, and much more, okay? Illustrator, comic illustrator. So let's get into it. All right, so basically years ago I went to college. I was 16 years old when I went to college, all right? And because of a lack of finances in my household, and also some situations that caused me to have to move around, basically, when I was in college, from my mother's house, mother's apartment, to my uncle's house. And then also I had 9 classes at the time. I ended up getting kicked out of college, Many times while I was at college, at least 3 times that I can remember, I was actually pulled out of class, okay, because I had enough money, and they would actually say, your tuition, whatever, is not paid, and they would actually send me home. I would get on the train and have to go all home. But anyway, it's ironic here. I hear a train outside going by. But anyway, now I'm a business owner, and I've been running this business for over at least 10 years. Okay, I really got to look and see when I really started, but I believe at least 10 years. Okay, maybe probably over 10 years. All right, and basically it's not a long journey, but I want to just kind of summarize it. Basically, what happened was after I got out of college, okay, I worked like a lot of jobs for like at least 10 years. Fast food jobs I didn't really like at all. All right, and basically what happened was, by the grace of God, I ended up getting inspiration through different things I saw, through people doing things and being in places where I wanted to be at. And it caused me to look at things a different way. You know what I mean? There are a lot of artists out there, for example, who, you have great talent, but one of the issues is that, and it's one of the issues that I've always had, is that you don't want to work for someone just to work for someone, just to make a dollar, even if you're using your talent, And also, you don't want to be a part of a work that you don't feel is right in your heart. That's something that I've always dealt with, I would never want to work for Disney if they came and say, here's a check for $1 million. This is Disney or Marvel or whoever. Here's a check. We want you to work on this thing, and it's against what I believe in. You understand? Like I'm a Christian, for example, and they were to say, we want you to do this, and it's totally, anti-Christian. I said, I don't want to do that. I believe in God. I don't believe in that, But because the check or money is here now, all someone will say, okay, it was money, So for many years, I just kind of was just like, I know that a lot of industry is dirty, and I don't know what I'm gonna do, but this is my talent. My talent is being an artist. I went to school for being an animator, I just couldn't see how I could use my talents, you understand, in a cool way. I mean, there's stuff out. There's a Christian show out, cartoon out called Veggie Tales, which is pretty good for kids, but I personally just would never watch it. You know what I mean? I've seen it before, but just not, my twist. And I was just like, I don't know what I could do. So I worked year after year at these jobs, which I hated. I was, a manager at Target before. A team lead at it's kind of like a manager at Target. I was, a filet man at Chick-fil-A. I worked at Chick-fil-A for many years. I worked at supermarkets and all kinds of stuff. Basically, what happened was I ended up getting injured at my last, 9-to-5 job, so to speak, at a supermarket called Pathmark before they went bankrupt. I ended up getting hurt at the job, but it wasn't their fault necessarily. Basically, my feet, something happened to my feet, which even to this day I don't really know what happened, where I could not stand for more than 3 minutes. And the job I was working, I was working at seafood in a deli, so I had to stand up. And I was standing on the concrete floor all the time, so it really hurt my legs. And I worked a lot of jobs like that over the years, so it was like an accumulation of things. So I didn't really hold it against that job, but they ended up firing me because my insurance had an issue where my insurance was not activated. It should have been. My health insurance should have activated, but it wasn't. He said it was a glitch in the system. And when I called one day asking about workers' comp, which I didn't want to ask for because I didn't want workers' comp, but my rep, union rep, there we go, my union rep told me that I had to ask about workers' comp. When I said Jerry, who was my union rep, said ask about basically workers' comp, they said, okay, well, basically, you're fired. And I had no job, okay? And I was just sitting there like, man, I can't believe this happened. At that point, something broke in me, and I felt like, I will never go back to a job like this ever again, period. I need to find another way. And I know God put that in my heart to know that, and had to have that wisdom, period, you know what I mean? So I thank God for that. I thank God for a lot, you know what I mean? It was for God, He did. So anyway, make a long story short, I'm trying to wrap this video up because this could be very, very long. I'm trying to give you guys a short version. Basically, I ended up, working with people for free, doing volunteer work, basically, is what I'm saying, and doing work for really, really cheap for this like maybe less than a year, getting my feet wet. I worked. I did volunteer work. I did volunteer work for a guy at a Christian radio station called WTMR, which is in Jersey near Philly, because I live in Philadelphia, and that's where I grew up. And it was pretty good. I got a lot of experience, got new clients, and then I ended up getting jobs that were like every week. Okay. And that's kind of how I came out of just, working those jobs. Just like the quick version, but basically I went from working, sometimes 3 jobs at one time. I used to work at McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, and what's the other job I worked at? A supermarket, Super Fresh, okay, which is a supermarket like Philadelphia. Do they even still exist? I'm not even sure if Super Fresh still exists. I can see Super Fresh in a minute. But I believe it still exists. But anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is that I worked at Super Fresh, okay? I worked at McDonald's, I worked at Friendly's, all at the same time. I worked at Friendly's up Fort Washington, PA. I worked at Super Fresh in Philadelphia, and I worked at Chick-fil-A and Blend Meat Mall. Okay, if you're in the tri-state area, Philadelphia tri-state area, you know what I'm talking about. And basically, I was all over the place. I had no car, okay, and I was doing all these jobs, all right. And I was tired. I'd come home and I would be, pooped, all right. And but now, I work for myself, and I thank God that I do. And it's a whole new world. Most assuredly, it's a whole new world. I will not trade this for all the money in the world, okay? Some tips I will give you, they got me through this, and I'll give a longer version of this in the future, but, I just want to make this kind of short. Some tips I could give right now, it's just coming off the cuff, coming off the dome, it's just, one tip I would give is that you have to, always be looking for an open door, okay? Because if you believe, start thinking to yourself, this is not going to work, or believe people who are doubting you. Like, for example, when I came out of college, when I was kicked out of college, my mother told me, she said, get a job at McDonald's. And I said, that's not what I want to do. She said, I don't care, get a job at McDonald's. He was just kind of mad at me. And part of me kind of said, just start working at McDonald's. Because I worked at McDonald's when I was in high school, That's where I used to work at King of Prussia, PA, at McDonald's. And I really hated it. And I felt like, well, maybe that's what I'm supposed to do. But in my heart, I knew that wasn't right, And I worked a lot of jobs that I hated. I hated every minute of it. But I'm glad that I hated every minute of it because it pushed me to get to where I am today, okay? Now I have a web comic out. I put out a comic book called Titano, which you can find on indieplanet.com. Put it out some years ago when I first started my company. That's in the Philadelphia Free Library. I've also done courses at the Philadelphia Free Library, about my comic and teaching, how to draw comics and so on and so forth. I also, also have a animated movie on its way also that we started. I've had voice acting done for that and all kind of stuff. Okay, I was trying to think of all the things that I've done. It's a lot, you know what I mean, over the year. I all have to have a book in front of me to tell you everything I've done over the years. I've done all kind of stuff, Also, I do a lot of video work, so I film people's birthday parties, events, church, services, all kind of stuff. Okay, so I'm always, working. Even in the year 2020, with all the virus stuff going on, thank God, by the grace of God, I still found work. You know what I mean? And this year, my company is growing more than ever. Okay, I'm doing more. I'm growing this channel, this Open Hands Art YouTube channel. I'm putting out stuff every single week, as you see. Those are webcomic is coming out every other week. So I'm gonna have more stuff coming out. So, and if you have any ideas, hit me up in the comments below. But just wrapping this video up, guys, I just want to say, stay focused. You know what I mean? Always believe that you can win. Don't take your eyes like the song. Keep your eyes on the prize. You really got to keep your eyes on the prize. You know what I mean? I remember working for jobs I hated for like 10 years straight, and I was thinking, even I'll be like wrapping like a Chick-fil-A sandwich, doing something. I'm thinking to myself like, man, like, how can I get out of here? What can I do? What can I do? I remember one day I saw a movie called The Chronicles of Narnia, and watching that movie, it gave me an idea, like, wow, I can do this, because I'm a Christian. I was going to do something that was like Christian media, like Christian art, but that was cool. When I saw the movie, I said, well, that is cool, that is nice, and it gave me an idea, and then I started going online, which is another tip, go online and try to find people that are doing things that you personally would like to do. People who are working at the top level, not just anybody, people who are at the top level, okay? And try to emulate them. Don't try to copy them, but try to emulate them in their work ethic at the very least. If they're successful, if they're successful and they got there because they're putting out, just sensationalism and all kind of foolishness, you probably don't want to go down that route. But if they've done stuff in an honest way, there's nothing wrong with trying to, emulate them. You know what I mean? Like people say, don't try to, recreate the wheel. You know what I mean? If something's already made, there's nothing wrong with trying to recreate it, to make it better. But at the very, but what that saying is that, hey, if something is already figured out, read about and look at, people who have already figured it out. Don't always just run to the hard road. You know what I mean? Read books. A lot of people don't want to read books, and a lot of information that's extremely important is in books. You know what I mean? So you got to read books, especially for black people, because I believe Malcolm X said one of the easiest ways to hide something from a black person is to put it in the book. If I'm not mistaken, it was Malcolm X that said that. You know what I mean? So we got to read. You know what I mean? And then people in general, we got to be able to read. You know what I mean? I've read many books, and books are like a mental exercise. You know what I mean? One more thing I would say before I go is, you want to be successful, you have to learn how to train your mind to be singularly focused. You know what I mean? If you play games all the time, for example, or just hang out with your friends all the time, even if you start your business, it will never be what it's supposed to be because you don't understand how to make your mind, activate essentially. Let's say, for example, you have like 10 major brain cells that are supposed to activate, when you are using your artistic genius. You understand? And let's say they like 7 of them are always, being used up thinking about a video game or thinking about how I beat this level or thinking about anything. You know what I mean? Or thinking about the movie that you're gonna go see. Nothing wrong with doing those things, but if that's consuming you, you only have 3 brain cells to work with. Okay, and that's something I always talk about, which I'll get to in the videos about. Your artistic genius. And how sometimes just like people get what do they call it? Writer's block. You know what I mean? I call that basically, you exasperating your artistic genius. You know what I mean? You have a certain amount of level of power, in my opinion, of artistic talent that can use every day, and it can be exacerbated. It can be exacerbated in one day. It also can be used up for a series of days. You understand? Depending on what you're doing. Make sure you get enough rest, which is another good tip. You have to rest. You can't work all day long. I don't care what anyone tells you. Make sure you get your rest, okay? If you do these things and then stay focused, you will succeed, okay? Trust God and everything will be okay. All right, guys. Peace out. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.